Leftings.
So welcome back to the vlog. I am back here in Richmond Park, as you might have recognised.
Right, where you been?
I've been up north, back in the relative warm, although it is still pretty cold, because this evening I'm headed over to bicycle because we've got a very special guest coming over.
Who is it?
Who is it? His name rhymes with Leo.
Yeah.
Can you guess who it is?
His name rhymes with Mayo.
So if you haven't guessed already, it's Team Ineos World Tour rider and the Giro d'Italia General Classification winner, Tao Geoghegan Hart.
Whoa! Doing it again.
Francis, I like your white shoes.
Thanks, man. Do I look more pro because they're white?
10 out of 10 proness.
Well, the main purpose of them is to make your legs look more tanned. But
you've decided
I've missed that part of the year.
Yeah.
So they're
just put them in the cupboard and save them for Calpe.
Yeah.
So firstly, I just want to say, Tao, welcome to the basement, or what we're sitting in now, which is the shoe fitting area of the bicycle, which is now being set up as our studio.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So why are you here, firstly?
Yeah, I mean, I was here last year. Obviously, came to see James last year and was super happy with everything. So we're back here now this year, and yeah, I think this is the time of year where obviously relax a little bit and unwind, but it's also time to look back at everything and look at the good, but more importantly the bad, really. And yeah, visit stuff like this with next year in mind, really. Still only a couple of weeks into the off season and a few more to go.
Before I start any of this, I just want to say a massive congratulations for the Giro.
Cheers, mate.
I know I was watching stage by stage as it unfolded and screaming to the TV, so yeah, incredible result.
Thanks, man.
For those of you who don't know, me and Tao actually grew up in a very similar circle. Both London boys, obviously. I grew up on the west side of London, you grew up on the other side.
East side, yeah.
But
we sound like Ali G.
Yeah.
East Staines.
But we often kind of went to the same races, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So Hog Hill was a hot spot.
Yeah. I can remember when I first started, you're in that orange and...
Oh really, the VMT kit?
Yeah. I can remember it really clearly, yeah.
So I actually found a photo. I was looking, my claim to fame, Tao, is that I remember on the front Lampers course with Cyril.
Yeah.
We did.
Which is the only British men's road race,
really?
Like on open roads I've ever done.
To this day.
To this day.
And I remember.
And I would say probably will be the only that I ever do.
Ever.
Yeah. It was a horrid day. Can you remember how cold it was? And
it was awful.
Must have been early Feb.
I think it was the first weekend of March that
race. Yeah. So I'd like same you had as well, growing up racing in Belgium and Holland and whatever, and you earned like good money when you were Newlingen and when you were a kid. And I remember that day it was like £25 I think to enter, and you had to enter the series as well, so I think it was an additional something or other. And I remember in the village hall afterwards the winner had this little medal like that big, and I was like, I'm not sure about all of this, you know.
Do you remember what happened in the race? I think there's a group of about 10 that went up the road. It was a small group. And I think me and you just missed it, and we came in together.
Okay.
And I remember kind of thinking, do we sprint? And I remember just rolling on the line.
Nice.
There is a photo.
Was it slight uphill? Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah.
There is a photo somewhere. I don't know if I can find it. I may not have found that photo, but I did find another one that we're both in.
Oh, that's a good one.
That must be those horrid 3/4 things that I'm wearing.
Right.
Wow. That's Hog Hill.
Hog Hill.
So you came over north-east London.
I came to your side.
Long way.
So yeah, once again, absolutely horrible day.
Yeah. Classic growing up racing in the UK though, isn't it? We were talking about it in the Giro, like once you get into the final of a race, for me, I think probably when I was growing up, there was as many days like that as not when we were growing up, wasn't there? So you just, not second nature of course, but you're used to it. Yeah, especially racing.
If you was to pick any member of the team that you had to roommate with for the whole year? Who's it going to be?
This is not a great answer, but this year we've been solo because of COVID.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I love being on my own.
Right.
I probably go to sleep a little bit earlier typically than a lot of guys,
Right.
especially on race.
Yeah.
And I also wake up quite early. I just love having my own space, and you don't have that much time in the evening to relax and stuff. So those little moments where you can really unwind and just I never do too much. I haven't got the mental energy really to do anything particularly, but just unwind and get a bit of space is really important.
Obviously, going back to, where did the Giro start this year?
In Sicily.
Yeah, right. So going back to Sicily, obviously the whole Giro was built around G for you guys. Obviously, how was it to lose him so early on?
Yeah, I mean it was obviously awful for the team, as we were all kind of there with a specific goal and we were really motivated for that. And I think we felt collectively like we could win with him, which makes it all the more difficult, I think, really. And he'd started so well in the prologue. He crashed before the race had technically started, so we all stopped, and then there was like a kind of 10-minute delay, and then another one on the officials kilometre 0. The race waited for him to get treatment and everything, so it was tricky. And I think it took us the next day was a sprint stage, so there was no opportunity to pull ourselves out of that really. And then we left Sicily, and Filippo, kind of hats off to him, changed the whole race for us really with his spectacular second of what is it, 4 in the end, I think, stage wins. Because it was just what a ride that was.
Obviously then your fortunes changed quite dramatically and you started to win a fair amount of stage wins. Talk to us about the moment it became perhaps possible for you that you thought, hang on a second, I might be able to get this.
Yeah, honestly, not even really, didn't really happen.
No.
I think the only time where I didn't really think it through too much, because I thought it was actually more important to just literally focus on that TT as a TT standalone event almost, just to do the best ride possible, as boring as that is. I guess when I crossed the line that day as well in Sestria and took the bonus seconds and the stage win, where it was really felt possible, when we dropped Kelderman, it was definitely on the cards, but we still had a whole other 10k climb to come. So it was just about managing that situation, managing the tactics, and basically keeping the door open more than anything on that Saturday, as unromantic as it is, and then making sure that the Sunday went as well as it could really.
Was it stage 17 that Rohan took you? It was right towards the end, wasn't it? Do you remember stage? They were all blurred into one.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
It was 18, I think.
Okay.
I think so.
Stage 18. Tell us about Rohan. Was it a premeditated plan the night before? How did that kind of move come about for you guys?
No, it was not at all. I mean, we'd seen somewhere pretty strong on Biancavallo. Our plan was to get at least 1, if not 2 guys in the break, which we did with Swifty and Filippo. 2 of the best, and if any of our guys had got up the road, it would have been super. They were all riding so well. It was one of the harder stage starts really. It was just a waiting game really for the Stelvio, and we were kind of expecting Sunweb to do what they did in some ways and just make a real hard tempo from the bottom, obviously with Almeida as their main focus. It was when the pink jersey was just starting to get dropped, and it was the kind of first time where Sunweb looked a little bit not perfectly in control. They were still on the front with 3 or 4 guys, but I don't know, there was just something that Rowan and I sensed, and he just looked at me between these 2 hairpins. We just caught Filippo from the breakaway, so Filippo was kind of still just around. And I just said, yeah, and he just went, and that was it. And there was nothing else. There was no other planning. There was no other. I don't think that he expected to cross the line, to cross the top first, like the famous Chima copy.
Yeah.
He ended up on the podium to get his Chima copy, and he didn't even know that was there, which was classic Rowan, quite funny. And yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty clear once I heard we're still taking time on Kelderman that I needed Rowan until the bottom of the last climb, even tactically more than anything, with obviously Jai looking like he was going to sit on. So we'd spent a lot of time arranging those things, where the jackets would be, exactly how I wanted my jacket, exactly which jacket, trying them on the back. These are the things that people just think, it's a jacket, whatever. But I had 4 different jackets I was trying on the bus that morning and planning for different scenarios. We had gloves ready with stuff inside them for heating your hands and all sorts. yeah, I mean, we could never have expected that stage to go as well as it did in the end.
It was, I tell you what, from watching it, it was such an incredible thing to witness.
That day I actually pretty much got my jacket on, got down the climb as quickly as I could, straight to the hotel, and I had to do one interview as I was getting in the car, and the journalist knows more about the race than I do, and he's asking questions, but it's actually hard to answer if you don't even know the time gaps. And then we were driving back to the hotel, and my physio Mickey showed me the gaps and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, that's actually been a really good day. Then when I saw actually how close we opened the entire race back up and brought ourselves into what it kind of transpired to be a winning position, then it was pretty astonishing really when I seen that, you know, on the internet, the time gaps and stuff.
So obviously, having opened up the race to the extent that you did, and heading into the final day, you were equal on time with Joe, weren't you?
Into the TT.
Into the TT.
Yeah.
So obviously, huge pressure on you for that last day, just with one final time trial. How did you handle all that pressure?
It was quite a nice time trial for that scenario. There was no tricky corners, sections, descents. Yeah, I always feel quite relaxed on TT day because it's just about you, and there is external factors, but so much less than a stage of 200 guys and 3 mountain passes and weather and all the rest of it. So yeah, what was it, 18 minutes of basically doing as much power as you could whilst trying to stay somewhat as good position as you can. There was no real nerves until I got back from the recon, back to the hotel. I had lunch, and then I had about 2.5 hours in the room on my own, just kind of relaxing, hanging out, listening to music. And my brother made me like some silly grime playlist of just like ridiculous songs I was like laughing to as much as anything, especially in the warm-up as well. That was the only time when, because I'd felt good in the recon, I knew my legs were still good. They'd been good for 3 weeks, so I believed that they would be. This is a big occasion, don't let yourself down, don't mess this up, you know, basically.
Obviously crossing the line, knowing that you've done it, how did that feel?
I mean, I didn't, to be honest, because he still had to finish.
So you didn't know you were up on him at that point?
No, I mean, I knew when the DS started like shouting to basically go slower in the last K. Obviously, you never hear that in a race, so that was a clear indication that there was more than enough time to mess around with. I think he started 3 minutes after me, so it was almost 4 minutes, 3 minutes 40 of waiting, but it felt much longer.
Yeah.
It was different there, certainly. There was no fans, none of my family were there. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of an image of this year, as it were, and the difficulties and things that we've all had to adjust to.
Tao Geoghegan Hart, Tao Geoghegan Hart.
And now 2 weeks on, has it sunk in a little bit for you, or are you still kind of floating?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Everyone says that, but when I ask them what it means, they can't answer it. I think it was an amazing experience. Something obviously I'll remember for the rest of my life. Something that's, I'd imagine, in some way going to change my life, even if, you know, just when you sign on at every race they say that you won the Giro. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It was amazing 3 weeks. We had a lot of fun. The staff were incredible. And
You're now a Grand Tour winner. What's the plan for the future? Or are you very much just enjoying your rest period?
yeah, I mean, it's hard to know exactly how next year's going to look still. I think, you know, it's a bit pessimistic, but that's the reality of it. Kind of hoping that the Olympics will happen, and that's the only race. You know, I haven't spoken to the team about programme stuff, so that's been a big goal of mine for a few years, and it remains so. And you know, probably has benefited me even being a year later in terms of the development of my career.
Final question: you promised your brother you'd get him a car if you won the Giro. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So what car?
Oh, it wasn't a promise; it was a bet.
Okay, it was a bet.
Yeah, bad bet. Yeah,
a bad bet
with no terms and conditions. No, you know, if the insurance companies allowed it, he could be trying to chance a Lamborghini off me or something. Yeah, he's got a nice little hatchback on Saturday. I think he's getting it from.
What a lucky boy.
Yeah, friends helped me out a little bit in Essex. So
is it bright pink?
It's not, no, thankfully.
Thank you so much for coming to obviously the bicycle here. It's so good to catch up with you, and thank you for sitting down with me and talking to my viewers.
Cheers, mate. Can you arrange some directions back to East London? Is that right?
Yeah, mate, I can set you up on my ways.
Cheers, perfect.
Yeah. It should be about an hour.
More.
Is it really?
More, yeah. Yeah.
Central London traffic.
Yeah, I think you can walk there faster. So.
Should have cycled there.
Yeah, it's a long way.
On your brand new pink.
Yeah, true. Next time. Next time.
No excuses.
Cheers, Owen. Thanks, mate.
What have you got there?
What have we got here?
Yeah.
It's a signed jersey
From Mr. Tao.
from Mr. Geoghegan Hart.
Awesome.
Cheers, Tao.
How did the fit go?
Yeah, good mate. Hannah needs a new bike. It's just as well. It was nice to help these athletes.
Exactly.
We helped young Tao, and then he went and won the Giro. I mean, I couldn't believe it, mate. I mean, I think I was texting you guys.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think I was in a pub, and my missus was kind of cowering under the table because I was screaming at my phone watching him
It's
win this
unbelievable,
bloody
isn't it?
thing. It's just, I'm so thrilled for him. It's
Yeah.
just he's such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Congrats to him. And I'm going to go and get this jersey framed on the wall.
Very good. Where's it going to go?
I don't know. Pride of place, probably. I'm going to put some photos next to it and just, yeah, like I said, just get it on the wall. So.
Absolutely.